This week, it takes a near tragedy to give us the mental reset and perspective shift that we really need after setback, and another setback, and setback. Renovating a house sometimes feels a lot like playing in the waves when you're at the beach. Most of the time, the waves are small and fun and manageable, but then every once in a while, one of those big mammoth waves comes along that just knocks you down, fills your bathing suit with sand, and kind of ruins your day. Ugh, bugs. This week has been another up and down sort of week for us. It feels like every time we take a couple of progressive and big monumental steps forward, then something comes along to give us pause, put some questions up in the air, and knock us back a couple of more steps. I'm very cranky right now, and I don't even feel like taping.
I'm just smiling, I don't know.
I'm just frustrated. Our problems were quite sequential this week. Number 1, the pool. Number 2, cat pee. Number 3, bunnies. Number 4, our mower. Number 5, a brand new dirt bike. And number 6, the fireplace. Then when we were at the house last night, it was just Jonathan and I, and while we were there, we wanted to check on the pool because we do have friends coming to help us this weekend and they're going to be bringing their kids to swim. We noticed that the pump did not seem to be full like usual. So when I talked to the folks at the pool company, they told me that one of the things that we need to check for right away is to make sure that the water level is at least halfway up on the skimmer. They said even higher than that is best. But when I take a look in the pool, we're probably only like 1/4 to 1/3 of the way up, so I am thinking that that probably is the problem. I'm gonna keep filling the pool here. It's probably gonna take a little while, but then we'll prime the filter and hopefully be back in business again. Jonathan and I were never really looking for a pool. That is not something that was on our criteria when we decided that we wanted to pursue something new and different. But when we found this house and fell in love with it, the pool was just a nice bonus, especially for Annie. I grew up with a pool and Jonathan's dad has a pool now, but neither of us had any experience when it came to maintenance and management. Moment of truth, we just got back from Target and we're gonna see if we overflow the pool. Hopefully not. So earlier in the week, we were having some issues where we noticed that our pool filter was not staying full and it wasn't maintaining pressure. Because of recent things that have gone wrong, I was kind of in a Debbie Downer sort of mood and immediately just figured that we were gonna have to buy a new pump. Fortunately, all I needed to do was add more water to the pool. Duh, evaporation happens, and it has not been raining that much here in recent weeks. And as soon as I filled the pool back up, things were back up and running. So, first problem resolved.
Who needs a pool boy when you got me?
Yeah. Full maintaining pressure. Second on our list of setbacks for the week was cat pee. So Jonathan's dad has been here a lot during the day, helping me with a variety of things. And when we were tearing things out of the main bathroom, he noticed a really strong smell. Funny timing because I just finished in Annie's room getting her drywall patched here. So I did the final sand on that today and that's good to go, but Dad had to cut another hole in the drywall. I wish that I had smell-o-vision and that you could smell how very, very, very terribly that it smells in this room right now. But at first we were just assuming, you know, it's a bathroom. Of course, there's not gonna be a pleasant odor in there. We were kind of wondering if maybe it was also sewer gases when we took off the toilet, but no matter what we did in there, the smell really just didn't seem to dissipate. And after some analysis and investigation, what we discovered was that the drywall along the toilet was actually damp. We put a tool, either a crowbar or a screwdriver, I can't remember what it was, up to the drywall and it just sank right through. And what we realized is that we're pretty sure it was actually cat pee. And we think that there may have been a cat litter box there or something and the cat was just peeing on the wall because it smells so bad in here right now. And we have, thankfully, beautiful weather here in Pennsylvania today. We've got all of the windows wide open. It's like 70 degrees outside and gorgeous. And now Dad and I are gonna take a break for lunch because, as I just said to him, what makes you hungrier than smelling cat pee, right?
That's right.
Here we go. So we had to contain the smell with a sealer, and then I got the lovely job of even more mudding and sanding, my favorite. Annie made a happy discovery. These guys are lucky to have survived because Jonathan went right over their nest with the mower yesterday. But look at those little cuties.
Hey, babies. Do you see the little ear down there? I wish I could touch you right now.
I'm gonna touch them just yet. We're gonna give their mommy time to help them get big.
Hey, buddies.
Number 3, bunnies. What exactly could bunnies have to do with a setback this week, you ask? Well, I will allow Annie to give you that synopsis.
Let me tell you a story.
Oh, you're gonna tell a story?
So, once there were 4 baby bunnies that Arlo the murderer ate 2 of them. The end.
Yeah. So yes, unfortunately, Annie's happy news of having bunnies in our backyard that she was going to monitor and hopefully watch grow turned into Arlo giving in to his natural instincts and consuming half of the bunnies. The other 2, if you are curious as to what happened to them, I don't really know. All we know is that there were 2 bunnies left after I stopped Arlo in his hunt, and the next day when we came back, there were no bunnies left. Number 4, our mower. We bought this mower brand new a couple of weeks ago. We've been loving it. The shop that sold it to us, those folks have been great. No issues there, but Jonathan noticed that when it was sitting in the garage earlier this week, that a piece had fallen off and one of the arms that you move to kind of, utilize the zero-turn properties, it was non-functional. Quick fix, something that we just have to go pick up from the shop and put back on. But when you buy a piece of equipment brand new, you don't expect those little hiccups to happen. And so that kind of stank too. Another bummer to add to our week. So Clark is looking at ATVs because his birthday is coming up, and we told him that we could get him an ATV for our property. I told him that he's like a kid in a candy store. And what did you say, Clark?
I like this more than candy.
Number 5, the brand new dirt bike. First part of the setback happened when we went ATV shopping. We did not realize that in the state of Pennsylvania, it is not legal to sell a new ATV to a driver of less than 10 years of age. And we're honest people, we don't believe in dishonesty, and we also want to make sure that our children are safe and responsible. So in talking with some salespersons and having some discussions ourselves, we did feel like it might be a better first step for him to get him a dirt bike. When we realized that we would not be able to purchase him an ATV, at least we wouldn't be able to purchase one if we were being honest, he had silent little tears rolling down his cheeks, and it broke my heart. But I quickly said to him, "Bud, it's not like you can't get anything. We'll get you a dirt bike, okay?" And then he was super excited to be able to have that. He said, "Oh, Mommy, I actually want one of those more. I just didn't think that you guys would let me get one." Go ahead, Daddy. Oh, and nervous Nellie does not like this. Always wear helmets and never wear flip-flops when you are driving a dirt bike. So everything went well with picking up Clark's new dirt bike. He had it and was in love with it for probably about 5 days before we noticed that there was gasoline pouring out of the fuel line, and we now believe that it has some sort of carburetor issue. 5 days of ownership and Clark's dirt bike is already back at the shop. Womp womp. No injuries, we still need a painter. Clark has been very patient. It's been in the shop now for about a day and a half, and we haven't received any updates. His birthday is on Monday and we're heading into the weekend now, so I'm hoping that we can get it back very close to his birthday and that he will be back out here in the field in no time. We had our chimney inspected today, so the chimney sweeps came out, and big surprise, there are issues. And number 6 in our string of setbacks for the week was the fireplace. A wood-burning fireplace is something that Jonathan has had his heart set on for a very long time. In our first home, there was no fireplace and no potential for it. In our last home, the one that we recently sold, there was no fireplace, but we were able to put in a gas fireplace. When we looked at this place, there was an already existing wood-burning fireplace, and we were both really excited and really looking forward to winters by that fire, that crackle, that real flame, that pop. Fireplace is something that we have always wanted. In our last place, we did put in a gas fireplace, but this is wood burning, and so we're really excited about that. It's kind of cool in wintertime to have that real crackle and the real flames. We decided that before heading into the fall and winter seasons, when we would be using that fireplace for the first time, that the wise thing for us to do would be to have somebody come out, take a look, clean it and service it, and let us know if there was anything that we needed to do to get it ready for a first burning, a first use this year. Unfortunately, what they found inside was probably the most devastating news that we have encountered so far with this new purchase and with our construction project.
So sad.
They pretty quickly discovered that there was actually a gap between 2 of the sections of the pipe in our flue, and unfortunately, with the location of it, was not really something that they thought they would be able to repair. Instead, they felt that the entire fireplace would need to be replaced, and that would mean tearing down the stone, tearing down the wall, taking the whole unit out, and starting fresh. And the estimate that came along with that was $20,000 to $30,000.
Fireplace cannot be used as is and has a huge expense to get it working. So one of the main draws to the house of having a wood burning fireplace is not going to be for now. So it is what it is.
I wish that I could have filmed myself that day. I try my best to film the good moments and the bad moments, but I'm just gonna be honest, I was not in a good place when I received that news. Jonathan was heartbroken. He won't put it that way, but the look on his face was just so much disappointment. The roof, while that was a big deal and obviously something that is going to be very expensive, it also wasn't a shocker to us. We knew buying this house, even without an inspection, that if we could get another 2 or 3 years out of the roof, that was really the best case scenario. And even though we only got 2 or 3 weeks, again, it was something that we pretty much anticipated we were going to have to spend sooner than later. But the fireplace was, I don't know, kind of just like a dagger to the heart, because it was a feature that we were looking forward to and something that we really thought we had here. And unless we wanted to dive very deep into our pockets, unfortunately, it was looking like we no longer did. In recent days, we did have a second opinion come out to take another look, just to make sure that their impression and their interpretation of the issue was the same. And unfortunately it was. With our budget being in the position that it is in right now, with other things that are more of a priority, Jonathan and I have decided that for now, at least, the fireplace will be more decorative in nature than anything else. While it stank to find out that the second opinion was the same as the first, it did give us closure, and it helped us just to know that it is what it is right now. This is the situation that we have right now, and we're gonna make the best of it. So yeah, it was a week with a lot of setbacks, some a lot more devastating than others, but at the end of the day, I have had so many reminders of why these problems are still very minimal and why we are still so very fortunate and lucky and blessed. Last Last year, we started a tradition with two of the families that we're closest with, and what we call it is Friends Weekend. One of the last weekends of the summer, we get all of our families and all of our kids together, and we spend a couple of nights together at one of our houses. Friends Weekend for this year just took place, and all of our kids had the best time together. Friends Weekend is supposed to be a time of just relaxing and hanging out. And this year, our friends were sweet enough to offer half of their weekend to be here, sweaty and dirty, and putting in time to help us get closer to living here full time and having this be our home.
So these hard workers have our laundry room completely torn apart.
Coming away from Friends Weekend was already a reminder enough of how all of the things that I really need, my health and my family and my friends, those things are here now, even in the face of setbacks, and they are what really matters. But now, being a few days removed from that experience with our friends and their families, we were reminded all the more. Caleb is one of the sweet, sweet kiddos that we spent that Friends Weekend with in terms of positivity and outlook and attitude. He and his whole family, let's be real, he's simply amazing. I had the privilege of driving Caleb in my car from his house to our house during the workday of our Friends Weekend, and it was the first time that he had ever seen our new property. When we turned onto our driveway, he looked up at the house and he said, "Miss Whitney, is this your house? Is this where you guys are gonna live?" And I said, "Yeah, buddy, yeah, it is." He said, "Oh my gosh, it is awesome. This is amazing. I can't believe you guys are gonna live here." I feel like sometimes he is my personal hype guy, so thank you, Caleb. But the reason that I am talking about Caleb and sharing that experience with him is because a few short days after Friends Weekend, Caleb was involved in a terrible and very freak farm accident. Caleb was nearly trampled by a charging cow, and fortunately, due to the very quick reflexes and instincts of the farmer and property owner, he was pushed out of the way and kept safe. But in that process and in those quick seconds, he did suffer a lot of, fortunately, surface level lacerations. When Katie and Jason, his mom and dad, sent the pictures to Jonathan and I and explained what had happened and how very much worse that story could have been, it took my breath away, because life is so finite and so fragile and so precious, and not a single day is promised to us. Does it stink when all of these problems keep piling one on top of the other? Yes. Does it stink when we buy brand new equipment thinking that that means that it's going to be years before we encounter issues, and then that time frame is actually only days? Of course. Is it a little bit of a heartbreak when you think that you are getting a house that has a feature and a function that you've been looking for years, only to find out that that part doesn't really exist? Definitely. But those problems are so small in the grand scheme of things. Those problems are so minute in the things that really matter. I have a family that loves me and supports me. I have a family that was willing to get rid of a lot of comfortable things to take a chance and take a leap and buy this property. And I have a family that is willing to put in the work to create a homestead out of a blank canvas. I have my health, for today at least. So I have so much to be thankful for and so much that I absolutely refuse to take for granted because it's the stuff that matters.
Bye!
Our second annual Friends Weekend is over and it was another success, and we are super, can't speak, super, and we are super thankful for friends that were willing to spend what is supposed to be a relaxing weekend taking things apart in our house. So thank you guys. Sabrina gave me that pack of mint Oreos to keep in my fridge for house hiccups a couple of weeks ago. And when I was, you know, texting her earlier this week saying this happened and then this happened and then this happened, she said, grab a mint Oreo, it'll make it all better. And I said back to her, you're absolutely right. All of these problems, even though they stink, they are mint Oreo small. And how truly amazing is it that my problems are so tiny. Thank you for being here with us for yet another week. We are very appreciative that you are here. It is very timely that a thunderstorm is currently rolling down the hill and telling me that it is time to go, but I hope that your week is one